My name is Aisha, and my nights are never mine. People say night is for peace, for rest, for dreams. But for me, night means fear, whispers, and eyes that never close. Have you ever tried to sleep while someone is always watching you? Have you ever wanted to cry, but you stopped because even your tears had no privacy? That is my life. That is my story. The story of nights without privacy. I live in a small house with many people. My parents, my brothers, my sisters, my uncle's family, all under one roof. There are walls, but no doors. There are windows, but no curtains. At night, when I want to change my clothes, I look around like a thief. When I want to pray in silence, someone always enters. When I want to read, people laugh at me. When I want to sleep, they talk loudly, or worse, they stare. In the day, I keep myself busy. But at night, my heart cries. Because night should be the time I feel safe. But for me, night is the time I feel trapped. One night, I was 16. The room was full of my cousins. We all shared one space, boys and girls, big and small. I turned to the wall and closed my eyes, trying to sleep. Then I felt something, a hand. Not by mistake. Not by accident. A hand that was not supposed to touch me. I froze. I could not scream. I could not move. Because if I made noise, the whole house would know. And they would blame me. Why didn't you cover yourself properly? Why didn't you sleep somewhere else? But where else could I go? There was no somewhere else. That was the night I learned. Privacy is a luxury I don't own. Since that night, my life changed. I slept with my heart racing. I never turned my back to anyone. I pressed my hands tightly around my body as if that would protect me. But the hardest part was silence. I never told my mother. I never told anyone. Because in my house, girls are not heard, they are judged. Do you know how heavy silence can feel? It feels heavier than the whole world. And every night, my silence screamed louder than my voice ever could. I once dreamed of becoming a writer. I wanted to write stories about strong girls who find their voices. But how can I write about freedom when I never tasted it? How can I write about privacy when even my thoughts feel watched? At night, when everyone sleeps, I secretly write in a notebook. But even then, I hide it under my pillow. Because in this house, nothing is mine, not my bed, not my space, not even my words. One night, everything changed. I was not alone in my pain anymore. Because I discovered a secret, I was not the only one living nights without privacy. One night, when the house was half asleep, I heard a whisper. It was my younger cousin, Sana. Her eyes were wet, her hands shaking. Aisha, can I sleep near you tonight? She asked softly. I looked at her carefully. Her face was pale. Her lips trembled. And in her eyes, I saw the same fear I had inside me. That moment broke me. Because I realized. I was not the only one. She too had her night stolen. We did not speak much. We only held each other's hands under the blanket. Two broken girls, hiding from the same monsters in the dark. From that night, Sana and I became silent protectors. We tried to sleep side by side, watching each other's back. When one of us felt unsafe, the other would stay awake. But how long could we fight this war without weapons? We were just girls in a house full of rules. Rules that protected everyone, except us. Sometimes Sana would cry quietly, covering her mouth so no one could hear. I wanted to hug her, but fear kept me frozen. We were both prisoners, waiting for a night of peace that never came. One evening, my mother looked at me carefully. You have dark circles, Aisha. Are you not sleeping well? Her voice was soft, but I froze again. Should I tell her? Should I break the silence? But then, my uncle entered the room. He laughed loudly, telling jokes, as if nothing in this house could ever be wrong. And my mother turned her eyes away. That was my answer. Even if I spoke, my words would get lost in the noise of this house. Sometimes, I close my eyes and imagine a room. A room with a door that locks. A bed that is only mine. A window with soft curtains. And silence, sweet silence. In that room, I can cry freely. I can laugh loudly. I can sing, pray, dance, write, without fear. That room lives only in my imagination. But it is the only place where I feel safe. Do you know the cruel truth? A girl can live her whole life inside her head, while her body is trapped in a house full of people. One night, the whispers were louder. Hands moved again in the darkness. But this time, it was Sanaa who cried out. A sharp, broken cry that woke the whole house. Lights turned on. Faces appeared. Accusations started flying. What happened? Why are you screaming at night? Girls these days have too much imagination. Her tears were real. But no one believed her. And I stood there, silent, my chest burning with guilt. Because I knew. I knew exactly what happened. But I was too afraid to speak. The enemy was not outside our house. It was inside. It wore the face of a family member. It sat at the dinner table. It laughed in the daylight. And at night, it stole our sleep. It stole our innocence. It stole our right to privacy. But no one wanted to see it. Because in many homes, people would rather protect the family's name than protect their daughters. That night, when everyone went back to sleep, Sanaa clutched my hand. Her words broke my heart. Aisha, will we always live like this? Nights without peace, nights without privacy. I looked at her. Her face was too young for such heavy words. And in that moment, I decided something. No, I whispered. We will not live like this forever. One day, we will find our voice. It was just a promise in the dark. But it was the first step toward freedom. That promise was tested sooner than I thought. Because one night, I had to choose, stay silent, or finally speak out. That promise I made to Sanaa was tested too soon. One night, when everyone had gone to sleep, I felt it again. That same unwanted touch. My body froze. My chest tightened. My heart screamed, not again. But this time, Sanaa was awake. She sat up suddenly, her voice trembling but loud. Stop it, she shouted. Leave us alone. The room went silent. The shadow moved away. And the whole house woke up in chaos. What's going on? Why are you girls screaming again? You shame us with your drama every night. The man who had touched us stood there, pretending to be shocked. He shook his head. These girls are dreaming. Making up stories. Maybe they read too many books. Everyone looked at us with doubt. Their eyes were knives. And in that moment, I realized. If I stayed silent, Sanaa would be destroyed alone. I had two choices. Stay quiet, and let them crush her. Or speak, and risk being crushed myself. I took a deep breath. And for the first time, my silence broke. It's not a dream, I said, my voice shaking. It happened to me too. Many times. The room fell silent. Every eye turned toward me. Some wide with shock. Some sharp with anger. Some filled with shame. But I stood tall, even as my legs trembled. Because I was tired. Tired of living nights without privacy. Tired of burying my screams in my pillow. My words were not strong. My voice was not loud. But the truth has a way of cutting through lies. My mother gasped. Her hand covered her mouth. She looked at me with tears, then at Sanaa, then at the man standing frozen in the corner. My uncle shouted. You dare accuse a man of this house? A man who provides for us? A man who sits at this table. His anger was fire. But my pain was older than his voice. This house may feed me, I said. But it has stolen my sleep, my peace, my dignity. The room shook with arguments. Some believed us. Some blamed us. Some begged us to stay quiet for the family's name. But the silence was broken now. And once truth escapes your lips, it can never be locked again. That night, my mother came to me quietly. She sat beside me, her hand on my head. Why didn't you tell me before? She whispered. I looked at her eyes, red and swollen. Because she knew deep down. Even if I had told her. The walls of this house were stronger than her protection. I was scared, I said. Scared no one would believe me. Scared you would blame me. Her tears fell on my hands. No, my daughter. I believe you. I believe every word. That was the first time I felt a little lighter. Because even if the whole world doubted me, my mother's belief was enough to keep me standing. The next few weeks were a battlefield. Some relatives stopped visiting us. Some called us liars. Some said we had ruined the family's name. But slowly, whispers spread. Other girls in the extended family started confessing small truths. We felt unsafe too. We were touched too. The monster's mask began to fall. And for the first time, I realized. We were never truly alone. Many of us were carrying the same secret. Many of us were living the same nights without privacy. The man was finally sent away from the house. Not because everyone believed us. But because too many voices had joined together. One truth is easy to crush. But many truths together are hard to bury. It was not full justice. It was not enough to heal the wounds. But it was the beginning. A small victory in a long war. That night, when Sana and I slept, we looked at each other with tired smiles. For the first time in years. We slept without fear of a hand reaching for us in the dark. I still live in that crowded house. I still don't have my own room. I still don't have a lock on my door. But something inside me changed. Now, when I close my eyes and imagine my dream room, I no longer see it as impossible. Because I now know. Privacy is not a luxury. It is a right. A right every girl deserves. A right every human deserves. And one day, I will build that room with my own hands. A room where no one watches me without permission. A room where no one steals my nights. A room where I am safe. If you are reading my story, and your nights feel like mine, dark, crowded, unsafe, know this, you are not alone. Your voice may tremble. Your hands may shake. But your truth matters. Silence protects the guilty. Speaking protects the broken. Do not let anyone tell you that your pain is small. Because no pain that steals your peace is ever small. My story is not just mine. It belongs to every girl who has lived nights without privacy. Every girl who cried quietly so no one would hear. Every girl who prayed for just one safe night. We deserve better. We deserve rooms with doors. We deserve families that listen. We deserve nights that are ours. Until that day comes, I will keep telling this story. Because even if the world wants silence, my heart has learned to speak. And I will never again let the dark steal my voice.